guys, I wanted to make a video about my gender journey through my life and how autism affected, and it has effects to this day, my gender identity, and what my plan for the future is. I'll just start from the beginning. When I was young, when I went into preschool, I immediately would, hang out and play more with the boys. I would call my boyfriend. So I'd come home and be like, Mom, I have 18 boyfriends. Still same, but like, I always just communicated with them better, I think. And I don't want to like generalize people, but socially, as you grow up, you do see that trained, like in female groups, there's a lot more nuance. And that's not a bad thing. It's just something that it's really hard for me. So you'll see I have struggles with trying to fit into female friend groups. Now, of course, I'm not saying like I'm friends with guys, so that makes me a guy. No. I mean, you'll see as I go on. So when I got old enough to start dressing myself, unlike everybody else around me, I didn't dress for style or for comfort even. I dressed for utility. So I wore a lot of cargo pants because I really liked hoarding and really liked collecting things and shoving them in my pockets. So just picture me with, camo cargo pants that were zip off at the knee. I was rocking those, right? I would have had my long ponytail in the back of my head because I couldn't have it down because it's too itchy, I would always wear long sleeve shirts under short sleeve shirts, just always, for some reason. But anyway, so I was a tomboy, that was my kind of thing. When I went through the grades, you really start seeing, I don't know, around like third grade, oh, okay, there is more groups of girls that are playing together. This is a girl group, And I tried to kind of work my way into some. I was always the joke of the group, pretty much. I was really gullible. I was made fun of for being like a crybaby, I was just happy and excited to make friends, and people took advantage of that. So I would go in with friend groups, and I wouldn't know what I was doing wrong. I had no clue, and they would always push me away or make fun of me or do things without me, and at the end I would always go back to, hanging out with guys and talking with guys. But in my mind, I was like, I want a girl group. I want to be in a friend group with girls. That's what I see it on TV. That's what I'm supposed to be in. What I thought is social groups, you're supposed to go be close friends with all of these girls. That's what you need. So, a year after that, I tried with some other girls, it failed again, and I kind of got pushed out. And around that time was middle school, so I had already started puberty. I started wearing my bra in 4th grade. I got my period really early. And I was pumped because I was like the first girl to get my period. I was like so proud of myself because I was like really short, and I'm still really short, but I was this little wimpy kind of, and I was like, I'm a woman now. But as I started going into middle school, and I kind of realized like, oh, if I keep dressing like this, I look like a fucking loser. I look awful, right? So I'm like, okay, I guess skirts, maybe? Oh, whew. So I bought a bunch of skirts, and I really liked some of them. I would look in the mirror, and I'd be like all dressed up, or like little bows and shit, and I was like, sometimes I'd be like, wow, this is great, and then like other times I was like, what the fuck am I doing? So I tried to kind of, push myself along the feminine path. And, that's when we see I'm trying to go as feminine as I can, and then I decide I'm going to cut my hair short. And I loved it. Oh my God, it was amazing. It really was a weight off my shoulders. It was just this, all of a sudden I had this, it felt so freeing, At this point I was still really dressing feminine, blah, blah, blah. But it was really like, it just felt really, really good. So for the next couple of years, I'm, mostly, a feminine kind of, and then I kind of discover what it is to be transgender. I kind of do some research into it. And my experience, I think, is different than a lot of other people's experiences because of my autism and how my autism affects my gender. So this is kind of, it's a little bit different. And that's why I'll tell you at the end how I'm going to handle it. But I realized, I looked back in my mind and I realized every person who I had looked up to was a guy. Every person in a movie that I wanted to be was a guy, you know. It was this kind of realization of looking back and how I was kind of scared of women and girls at this point. I couldn't understand them a lot of the times. I was just like confused, and I just wish that the guys could see me as one of them and that the girls could see me as a guy. It wasn't like I want my body to look like a guy, you know. It was more of I want to walk into a room and people go, that's a dude, right? But at that time, okay, I was like, okay, let's start dressing a little bit masculine. Finding clothes in my size is hard enough. Finding male clothes in my size, nope. Sometimes I would try just wearing sports bras to just kind of push these down a little bit. And I did those. I would watch the fucking like contouring videos where it's like, make yourself look more masculine, right? And I would do it. And I would look like shit. I'd look so weird. I have feminine features, you know, and it would just, I didn't feel right. It wouldn't feel right. I was like, this is not my face. I'm wearing a fucking mask. I don't want to go out looking like this, you know? I was like, I want to go out into the world and have this be what a guy is for me, you know? It was really, really complicated with my autism because I had always felt more connected to guys. I think with one reason, you know, it's harder. Girls have a lot more societal expectations. And they pick up on them. With me, with my autism, I didn't pick up on all of them. I wasn't as, you know, I didn't have as much manners. I was not as, you know, I want to say feminine. I was very out there, you know? And so that had always, you know, I would always see that portrayed in guys. Not in girls, but always in guys. So it was more like I was in my own place, and when I looked out into society, the place I saw myself reflected in was guys. So I started trying to dabble with male pronouns, and I was like, okay, you know, this is kind of weird because at this point I'm used to she. And that another thing where autism comes in is like, my name and my pronouns really don't matter to me. It's like, I'm kind of like whatever's easiest for you. So I didn't like ask my friends to use male pronouns. I was like, maybe try them sometimes. And they were like, okay, but I never reminded them because that wasn't what I really wanted. You know, I didn't want them to like call me my pronouns, but in their head be like, you know, girl, you know, I just wanted them to, I don't care. I wouldn't care what they called me. I just wanted just flip a switch in their head that said that I was a guy. So I'm still trying to figure out what my gender is. It's taking a long time. You know, I have questions with my sexuality in there. Am I a lesbian? Am I straight? Am I there was a whole point where I was like, I think I'm gay. No, wait, what? Now I'm pansexual. I fully realize at this point that I like everyone. So I'm having sexuality problems and gender issues, and I am like, okay, you know, I think this is what I am. Okay, so I'm like, okay, I'm identifying as agender because I want to be seen as a guy, but I don't want to have to transition. You know, this is the part where it gets weird. I did have dysphoria. I would have body dysphoria. But when I would wear a binder or do that, the body dysphoria wouldn't go away. It's not that I wanted a flat chest or it was just the idea of a human body is so foreign to me that I couldn't, no matter what I do, there wasn't an answer. So I was like, I go out, you know, presenting as male, and I was like, this doesn't click either, you know? And in my head, I was just like, I just want to be, you know, something, you know? Could I just find something? And at this point I was like, okay, I'll just use any pronouns. And then I kind of found out that I really liked one specific pronoun, which a lot of people don't like using at all, which is it and its. Because I love that separation from the human race. Because I do. Oh my god, fucking humans. Like, I know I'm a human, but it's just fucking, you guys are so crazy. You're fucking infuriating. Oh my god, we are very, very different creatures, you know? And I've always was like, okay, so I'm gonna be, call me it. I don't want a human gender. I want to just be this entity that maybe you associate more with the male gender, and it's all this complicated mess. And that's kind of where I am at today still. I'm still at the idea of I'm an alien who traveled to Earth, and I look like a girl, right? But when I try to talk to people, I notice that I'm way better at interacting with guys. So, I try to fit in with guys, but when I try to make myself look like a guy, it still looks strange, and I still look like an alien, it still looks foreign. So what I have decided to do is stay in the closet. My solution is kind of simple, is while I'm going to be out, like, on the internet and to close friends, and I'm never going to transition. I'm never going to change to male pronouns. I'm never going to, I'm going to keep my name. And the reason for that, there's a lot of reasons. The first reason is, with my conditions, my health and whatnot, and my mood, and it would be dangerous for me to go on testosterone. It would be a risk. 2, I'm 4'11". I would be just a really, really short guy, and I would feel bad about that. Already feel bad about my height as a girl. 2, I want to have a child. I want to, get pregnant. And if I were to do that, I would like to transition young, so I would have to do it before I transitioned. And the whole problem with that is I want to go to medical school, so that's going to take like 11 years. And I'm going to be, in my 30s, and I can't get pregnant before medical school, because then I'm raising a kid and going to medical school. What I'm saying is, the idea of me transitioning would be a very big roadblock in my life. And while I would love it, I would very much love it, I think it's not worth enough to me to go through. I think I want to give those resources to people who it's no other option, I feel like I have options, and I want to make sure that trans guys have the resources that they need. So I'm just going to stay like this. I'm going to hopefully try to feel better about femaleness, but it's just a very, I just wish it wasn't here. It's really this weird thing that I just don't understand, and I'm trying my best, and it's just this blur, and whatever I do, it just doesn't fit. And I'm like, what if there's like a weird other gender that no one's figured out about yet, and it specifically only applies to me? Like, I want to be able to just be me without the connotation of female. I don't want to have female, I want to get rid of that, and I would, preferably have male. But at this point, I don't think that's a possibility for me. And I'm, coming to terms with that. I have a straight boyfriend. So he did say that he would stick with me through anything, but I don't, also I have body dysphoria. I have, body dysmorphic disorder. So I'm super, just the way that I look in the mirror, it never looks right. It's always bad. And I think even if I transition, my body dysmorphic disorder is going to stay with me. So while the dysphoria may go, the dysmorphia will stay, and I will never truly be happy with my body. So I figured it would be easier for me to try and work with what I have. And we'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll change my mind or something. But that's kind of my thing. And if you want to be like, no, you're a girl, it's not, valid or whatever, like, okay, that's fine. Just call me whatever, but I want it seen that you can call me Claire, you can call me she. I just want in your head to flip a little switch and kind of associate me more with guys. And that's like all I ask. But that's kind of my thing, and like why I'm not going to transition and not really going to come out, because it would make me feel better, but it wouldn't make me feel better enough, and I would still be so foreign to this world that I don't want to risk it to find that I don't want to risk it to go through the whole transition to only find that I still hate it, or hate my body, or hate being on Earth in a gender, But anyways, that's my story so far. I'm gonna make a video next. I'm gonna do one right now about my health and my life. But thank you guys for listening.